Okay, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Monday edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Parish Construction and Roofing. If you need an orthopedist, go to Brock. You need a roof, call Parish. Unique physique and unique aesthetics and wellness. Restored Motions, restoredmotions.com, Bocock Brothers, premium cigars. Use the code MAT15, MAT15, MAT15 for 15% off your order. All right, y'all. Good morning. Glad to have you aboard with us here as we start a new week. As Aerosmith said, it's the same old song and dance. Saints lose. Tigers win. Saints lose. So probably going to be a lot of Mondays like that this football season. Saints lose to the Patriots. For me, the real disappointing thing is you lost that game because of guys that you're counting on letting you down. Now, you allowed back-to-back touchdown drives to open the game again for the fourth consecutive game, by the way. Think about that. For the fourth consecutive game, your opponents have scored touchdowns in their first two possessions. So you've dug yourself in a two-touchdown hole basically every week. But man, my goodness, the most annoying part of that is watching guys that you count on, guys that you've paid to be star players, not be that. Chris Olave, dude is incapable of making a contested catch. There were four examples in that game. The one late in the first half down the right sideline, where he got his hands on the ball and like, oh, look, the defender got his hand on his bicep just in time. I'm like, make the catch. Fight through that, make the catch. The one on the left sideline where he went high, looked like he had it, then going to the ground, lost it, which they came on later and like, they should have ruled that a fumble, the catch and a fumble. He had the one over the middle that Rattler threw high. Rattler was doing everything he can to survive, to escape. He throws it over the middle. Olave goes up, can't hold on to it. I mean, it's just, and yeah, Juwan Johnson fumbling. Like, while you're going for potential game-winning score, it's just, it's one thing if these are UD, if it's Mason Tipton, a UDFA trying to make the team, right? It's another one. It's a first-round draft pick who you expect to be your number one. Kelvin Banks had a big holding call. Eric McCoy, your center, had a false start. Like these are drive killers. So one good thing, Blake Grupe went 4 for 4. So after a really tough start to the season, a good day yesterday for Blake Grupe. But you got to finish drives. I mean, you keep settling for field goals, you're going to lose games. So Saints lose are 1-5. They go to Chicago this week. I don't know that I'm super optimistic about them winning at Chicago. I don't know that I'm optimistic about them winning on the road at all. But see. LSU early line is out for LSU at Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt, a 1.5-point favorite. I can't imagine they get a full 3 points for home field advantage at Vanderbilt. Maybe 1.5, 2 points. So neutral field, probably a pick. Tiger Stadium, probably LSU 3 is how it would look. Still a little surprised to see Vanderbilt 1.5, but that may move as the week goes along. Wrong team's favorite there. I know people are spooked by Vanderbilt a little bit because of their hot start. But the reality, and I've just happened to watch a good bit of Vanderbilt. It's interesting, like, because I get to watch teams kind of as it correlates to LSU's schedule, right? So if you're playing a night game, chances are you're not going to get to watch play because I'm locked into LSU. At least I get to lock into. I've seen a lot of Vanderbilt. And Vanderbilt is a good running team. They are not. They can't stretch the field. Yeah, I think you saw that at the end of the Alabama game. If you were watching it, when they needed to make a comeback, they weren't able to push the ball down the field. but they're good in the run game. So LSU will have to be sound in their run fits. And then defensively, Vanderbilt's good in the defensive line. They're not very good in the secondary. So LSU has a giant athletic advantage in the secondary against Vanderbilt. So give Nussmeier time to throw, he'll have open receivers in this game. So anyway, all right, please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the page, share the post. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. We'll say some good mornings. Hey, Tiger Poppy, good morning. Brian Wynn, good morning. Jalen, good morning. Ben, good morning. Tiger Diver, can you ask Shea if South Carolina find their O-line coach if he thinks Gray decommit flip to LSU? Yeah, so I'm not sure if you saw that, but South Carolina fired their offensive line coach after the LSU game. So he's talking about his Darius Gray, who's a five-star interior offensive lineman who picked South Carolina over LSU. LSU was in it to the very end, but he picked South Carolina. Maybe it's a good question. Sure, I'll ask that. Bubba Smith, good morning. Thomas, good morning. Hey, Jesse, thoughts on Penn State moving on from Franklin? Honestly, very surprised. And the reason is just the surprising thing is just how quickly it accelerated. What I mean is Penn State was in the national semifinal a year ago. National semifinal. And they come into this season ranked preseason number 2. And they have this whiteout game 2 weeks ago against Oregon. And if they get a 4th down stop, they win the game. Right? It's like Oregon has to go for a 4th down. They convert, end up scoring and winning in overtime. But Penn State was literally a 4th down stop away from beating Oregon and then probably going to UCLA and winning. But they lost that game to Oregon. They went out to the West Coast and got totally punked. And at that point, I think they realized they're a 2-loss Big Ten team now. Their playoff dream's probably over. And Franklin couldn't rally them, and they went and lost at home to Northwestern. So, I mean, back-to-back weeks, you've lost as a 20-plus point favorite. I mean, after you were a 4th down stop away from beating Oregon in a whiteout. I mean, just in a matter of 14 days, you kick off against Oregon, and people are wondering, is Penn State a national championship contender? And within 14 days, James Franklin's fired. I mean, that is a dramatic decision. I mean, I would have certainly given him the remainder of the season to see if he could figure it out. But hey, Murray, good morning. Is too early to say Shuck is a wasted pick, should have been used on defense or a wide receiver? No, I don't think so, because I don't think at this point you've seen enough from Spencer Rattler to have you believe that Rattler is your franchise. I think he can be, but I don't think you've seen, like, what I keep saying about Rattler is Rattler isn't the reason you're losing. Like, he's not throwing picks and turning the ball over, and like, he's not costing you the game. But he's also not been dynamic enough to make plays to win you the game. Now, I say that, especially with where I started, where I said, like, you need playmakers to lift him up. But a lot of times your quarterback elevates the rest of the team. I mean, Drew Brees played with Marcus Colston, who was a 7th rounder, and Lance Moore, who was a UDFA, and a lot of guys who, weren't the, top tier first round, but he never had a Malik Neighbors, an Odell Beckham. He never had a, Jackson Smith and Jigba. He never had a true, like, game-breaking number 1 like that. So, but Breeze elevated everybody. Like, Rattler, I don't think elevates the offense. I think he's good. He manages it. He needs other people to pick him up as well. And they just don't have playmakers. Like, if they had playmakers, it could look a lot like San Francisco with Brock Purdy. I don't know if Brock Purdy is the guy that if you put him on the Jets, all of a sudden the Jets are awesome. I don't know that that's the case, but Purdy has functioned exceptionally well on a roster that's been one of the more talented in the NFL, where you have Christian McCaffrey and Kittle. I know Kittle's hurt right now, but you know what I mean. And Jennings, and you had Debo, Pryor. I mean, any function to get all those guys involved. I don't know if that makes sense. Hey, Brad, good morning. Do you think Mike Norvell will get fired? Maybe. He lost again this week to Pitt. So that's 3 straight. Very similar field, Penn State. Hey, Ryan, Tigers are 1.5 underdog. People are so stupid. Rusty, good morning, Matt. What's LSU's record when AFR is on site for a game? I don't know. They lost in Vegas. They lost in the Rose Bowl. It's 2-0-2 there. They won when we went to Nashville in 2019. They won the SEC championship game in 2019. They won the national championship in 2019. So every time we went somewhere in 2019, they won. That has more, I think, to do with the team being good than whether or not we're there. Middle-aged grind, Penn State firing. Wow, coaching changes will be crazy this season. Jimbo had 4 years of 8-4, 3 games out for James Franklin. That is crazy. That's kind of the point. Like, at the end of the season, if they had fallen short of the playoff and they wanted to move on, I could get it. But a 3-game losing streak and firing your coach of a dozen years is odd. And paying him $56 million. Hey, Brian, good morning from Rock Springs, Wyoming. Seems to me Rattler is a little bit better. I think they need to get rid of Johnson. And the defense is let the game go. The defense was bad. Now, listen, let me rephrase, Brian. The defense started off poorly, giving up 22 points in the first half. They allowed only 3 in the second half. And they kind of implemented a bend, don't break style where they did give up yards, but they didn't give up points, which is ultimately the name of the games. And I can live with that. But you got to score more than 19, and you can't dig yourself a hole so early like you keep doing in every game. West and Matt, how do you like our chances Saturday? Do you think LSU baseball will be number 1 when they open the season next year? I think that there's a great chance LSU baseball will be number 1 when they open the season next year because of the portal class they added, the freshmen they have coming in and who they have coming back, especially coming off a championship, and Jay Johnson's going to get the benefit of the doubt. So great chance of that. And I love LSU's chances against Vanderbilt.
Parish Construction and Roofing. At Parish, we've got you covered. From the top of your roof, all the way down. Parish Construction and Roofing. Parish Built. Parish Built. Parish Built. From your hometown. ParishBuilt.com.
Construction and roofing. Parish Built. All right. Parish Construction and Roofing. You need North Peters. Remember, you go to Brock, you do roof, call us at Parish. Trying to find this link because I'd really appreciate it if you all would vote for Parish Construction and Roofing for the best roofing company. There it is. There you go. I'm going to drop this in the chat. If y'all would vote, I'd appreciate it. You can vote every day. We were nominated for the Best of Ascension, Parish Construction and Roofing, for the best roofing company. If you'd click the link and vote, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you. Let's see. Where are we? Patrick, good morning. Feels great outside this morning. Congrats, Mandeville skipper band for winning first place at Lakeshore High School Marching Band competition Saturday. Congrats. Uh, Christian, good morning. At this point, Kern can't be any worse than Davis or Eccles, right? I think Kern is one of your 5 best. I think they have to decide about getting there. Now, I will say that someone asked yesterday about the possibility of moving Josh Thompson to right tackle. And so I did ask around yesterday, and apparently that's something they did consider. I'll ask Brian Kelly that today to see if I can get him on the record talking about it. But suffice to say, the idea maybe was not met with the most confidence. That they think Thompson's a guard. Brian Penton, I didn't know Booty was still in the league. Yeah, man. Kayshawn looked. It's like that's a great illustration of a receiver making plays to elevate his quarterback, and then look at Chris Olave, who consistently did not make plays. Like Kayshawn was awesome. The catch in the back of the end zone where he had to wrestle the ball away going to the ground. His second touchdown where he fought through contact to get in the end zone. The third 11 play at the end of the game, which sealed it. He's awesome. I mean, he was awesome. Chris Olave is not. Kayla, if you let me trade Olave for Booty right now, I would. Caleb, morning, Matt. Hard to win games when you can't get off the field on third down. Kool-Aid's been getting bullied. Kool-Aid, I said it all last week. Kool-Aid won NFL or NFC Defensive Player of the Week because he had 2 interceptions. Terrific. You caught 2 punts. I mean, I could have made both those interceptions. He didn't do nothing special. Kool-Aid has PFF grades aren't posted yet, but if I go and look at Kool-Aid so far this year, his overall grade is a 59.4. I mean, he's been targeted 25 times and given up 17 catches. 68%. It's not, he's not a number 1. Matty Ice, good morning. Love the show. Thank you, Matty Ice. Appreciate that, man. Have a great day. Thomas, we gotta I gotta play today the Les Miles Columbus Day press conference. I gotta remember to do that. Hey Jacob, good morning. Let's see, Prime Von Miller or Prime Khalil Mack. Remember Mack, you can't block. Miller, you can't touch. So either pick is a good one. Probably Von Miller. Seth, morning. Saints could have been a weird spot if they keep losing and playing Rattler. Could have a high draft pick without knowing if Shuck is good. That's the point that I've made pretty consistently, which is eventually this year, you have to find out what you have with Tyler Shuck eventually, because you're going to have a top 5 pick. You're going to have an opportunity to draft a quarterback, and you're not going to know if the quarterback that you use the 40th overall pick on is any good. There it is. The Les Miles quote. So good. Got to play it today. Today's your day. This day is for you. It's not St. Patty's Day. That's a different day entirely. Hey, Tier 1, I was shocked at the lack of playmaking ability yesterday. I don't want to hear again about ball placement. Make the catch. That's my point. It's the NFL. I said on my postgame show, Odell Beckham made a touchdown catch with 3 fingers on Sunday Night Football while contested over his head, going out of bounds. Make a catch. Look all over the NFL. I was watching the Bucks yesterday, and Baker makes this Houdini play, avoiding a sack where it looks like they're going to get off the field. He ends up scrambling for 11 yards or whatever it was for a first down. And the next play, they take the deep shot down the middle, and the receiver, full extension, catches the nose of the ball and tips it back to himself. It's an incredible play. You're a professional receiver. Make the catch. Morning, Matt. Kurt Signetti, Matt Rule, top candidates for the Penn State job. Do you think Brian Kelly would be a candidate? I do not think Brian Kelly will be a candidate. Matt Rule played at Penn State, so I understand that, although he hasn't been great at Nebraska. So is that the hire they would want to make? Kurt Signetti has been awesome at Indiana. And the thought is, man, you give him resources at Penn State, what could he do? I get it. What a rise from James Madison to what he's done at Illinois or Indiana now, to where people might get the Penn State job. Hey, Bob, good morning. Best day of the week. Let's go. Brad, do you rewatch LSU games since you have to talk about it for a living? Can you remember it all from watching it once? Sometimes I'll go back and scan highlights. LSU used to post on its website the condensed game, where it was just the plays. And so I could rewatch the game in roughly 30 minutes or so. And I would do that multiple times, but that's not a feature available anymore. So I'll go back and watch things that I feel like I need to watch and see over again. Hey, Bailey, my only concern on offense is Nuss's errant throws. With Sloan running the ball more, though, I'm encouraged. And maybe, look, there's a few things I want to ask Brian Kelly today. Obviously, he had the play sheet and was on the headset, so I want to ask him how involved he is in play calling, which, by the way, that's not a criticism. I know sometimes we think is like when Les Miles had the play sheet in his hand, we're like, oh, Les is involved in the offense. I mean, Brian Kelly is your most experienced play caller. He did it successfully for decades. I'm okay with Brian Kelly having the play sheet in his hand. Abner, good morning. Devanka De Silva, good morning from Sri Lanka. Do you think with this offense we can reach the playoffs? No. I mean, as it is now, no. I do think, Devanka, they're allowed to improve and they're able to improve. And if they keep improving, then yes, because you have a veteran quarterback and tons of playmakers, your offensive line hasn't been good enough. But I was encouraged by the fact that they made more of an attempt at balance and they ran the ball successfully. Let me see you do that again this week at Vanderbilt. Like, go have a balance of run pass again this week. It goes to show you, like, that's why you stick with it. Meaning the running game. Like, yeah, there's going to be times where you get stonewalled. There's going to be times you get thrown for a loss. There's going to be times you have a power formation, you get a yard. But you keep hammering away with the body blows because eventually you're going to pop the 6-yard, the 23-yarder, the 55-yarder. Like, but you got to keep at it. Hey, Jared, Bailey, Olave and Kool-Aid are the same. Good players, not number ones. I agree. Ben, rumors Kelly to Penn State. Is this true? I can't see Penn State hiring Brian Kelly. I mean, that doesn't make a lick of sense. Do you think? Yeah, I don't know where that started. What I will tell you is agents will try to get their candidate's name in the mix for anything, for leverage. Like, remember when Les Miles was a candidate at Arkansas in like 2012 or 13, whatever year that was? But no, I don't think Brian Kelly is a candidate at Penn State. Ian, good morning. Let's see, Matty Ice. We appreciate your insight on our Tigers. Do you see LSU as a legitimate national championship contender? Lots of parity, it seems. I'm not writing them off. Like, let's not forget LSU is the polls came out yesterday. They're top 10 after yesterday. Or are they still at 11? LSU's number 10 in the country. Like, Heather Dinich yesterday came out with her playoff prediction, and she had LSU as the 11th seed. Like, I know it's so easy. Like, it's so interesting because going into Ole Miss, everyone was super high. You lose the Ole Miss game, and now everybody's just spent 2 weeks of negativity, and you're super low. And I just, like, you're ranked 10th in the country. You're 5-1 at the halfway point. I'm not saying it's easy, but if you replicate that in the second half, go 5-1, you're 10-2, you're in the playoff. Again, I'm not saying it's easy, but you have your next two I think your next two are just critical. You win at Vanderbilt. You have an absolutely epic environment at home for a game against Texas A&M. If you manage to win those two, you're 7-1. You're 7-1 going into an open date. You've got two home games against Arkansas, Western Kentucky, where you'll be a big favorite, and you got road games against Bama and Oklahoma. I'm not saying either of those will be easy, but win the home games, split the road games. You're 10-2. You're in the playoff. I mean, there's a path. You just got to keep getting better. Hey, Cartel Bo, shalom, shalom, grand rising. Matt, can we say truly need to find a number one receiver in the draft? Yes. I can't believe they didn't draft one this past year. That was the thing we talked about coming out of the draft. The one thing that was the most surprising, they didn't take a big-bodied receiver. Thomas, last day of Sukkot starts at sundown tonight. Chag Samiak. I think I got it. Solar Flares, good morning. Bailey C. Both Juwan Johnson's fumble this weekend. They did. Man, I got to go. Sorry, y'all. 7:15. I got to bounce. Okay. Thanks for being here. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the page, share the post. As always, our sponsors are linked in the description on YouTube. Get them tagged on Facebook. Y'all have an awesome day. Locked on LSU is live. Go check it out, please. Locked on LSU. We've got podcast or YouTube. We've got your PFF grade episode and then AFR3.